Welcome back to BST, your favorite father-son podcast.
Where he just does everything. I do nothing. I just show up. I don't even give good takes. I just comment on whatever he needs me to comment on.
That's what this show's all about. We were blessed with another amazing weekend of football in general, both college football and NFL. We'll get to the college later, but thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, and comment.
We are up to 18
subscribers.
18. Let's get to 20.
Yeah, 20's the goal. So maybe we're not going to have an episode next Tuesday because we will be out of town. But
You're not supposed to tell people you're going to be out of town.
What if I'm lying?
18 people now know. Just you and I.
Well, they don't know where we live, so
That's true.
It's fine. But so there won't be an episode next Tuesday, but maybe we can get to 20 by then. So
well, if your little brother will join,
come on,
subscribe. That'd get us.
Come on, let's go. Subscribe
50%
already.
Away.
But yeah, another great weekend of football, and as Packers fans, it started with this game. Packers beat the Dolphins 30-17. You like what I did there? Tua cold for the Fins.
Tua cold for the Fins, yeah.
We're trying puns now. You'll see some
Tua
on the
cold.
coming slides.
Tua played okay. I mean, better than I thought. He's improved in the cold.
Yeah.
But not enough.
I mean, yeah, he had 365 yards, 2 touchdowns. He played well. But I think kind of the Packers kind of just made it a business decision. They were not going to let those playmakers beat them over the top.
A lot of dinking and dunking, it seemed like.
And they stopped the run really well. So it looks like a good day for Tua, but I feel like it's not just Tua who is affected by the cold. It's the entire team just looked pretty soft. I think one of their players also agreed with that statement, that they were pretty soft. But the Packers had a great day. Probably, it's tough to say if it was the most complete game of the season, but it was probably up there.
It looked better.
They ran the ball well despite Josh Jacobs only having 43 yards on the ground on 19 carries. He did have a touchdown, but Love played good. I think Toyotathon Jordan Love, search it up. Since the bye, he has like a 100-plus passer rating, something like that. So he's been playing a lot better since the bye, but we'll see how he can improve on that. But it was a good game. Really, it started off good right as the Dolphins missed that punt and muffed it.
Yeah. And
I'm like, okay. And then they scored. And the Dolphins kind of made it interesting at the end, and the Packers were able to get a goal line stand. But
for a end of a turkey day.
Yeah, it was a great way to end Thanksgiving. And this was the first game of the year I've gotten to watch at my house. Because the other one that I watched was in New York. So it was good that we were able to watch that.
Yeah.
But, but this sets up a huge game on Thursday. Probably the game of the year for the Packers. Maybe even the Lions. But I
just want to be competitive.
Yeah.
If
we lose by like 3 and we score points on them, I'm not going to be mad. But we'll get to the pick 'em later, so we'll see what my pick is. But yeah, Packers just kind of bottled them up. A lot of dinking and dunking. That's how all the yards came, but it never felt like the Packers were really going to be in jeopardy of losing the game. And the pass rush really got home in this game. You had Quay Walker, who had a sack, Kenny Clark, Enagbare, Van Ness, Brenton Cox, and Rashawn Gary was in on multiple of those as well. Just didn't get credited with it. But if the pass rush can get going, it's going to be huge going in Detroit and going into the playoffs. Because I think the Packers have like a 98% chance to make it. So, I mean, it's not like for sure yet, but they probably should.
98 with a win?
No, like now.
Oh, right now.
Right now, they have a 98% chance. And right now, they're the 6th seed. But, I mean, if you beat Detroit, they are now tied with the Vikings. So then you kind of got to bank on the Vikings beating Detroit again, or the Bills beating Detroit. And then you got to beat the Vikings. So, I mean, the Packers aren't totally out of this division, but if they lose on Thursday, they're out. They're just... And, I mean, it's not going to be the end of the world, but it's kind of going to be like, well, we're probably not a Super Bowl contender.
Just show up and compete. You never know. Just get in the dance and see what happens.
Yeah. I mean, I just think... I think we'll fight. I'm not sure what the final score will be, but I think we'll fight in the game.
Let's have a better effort than in Lambeau.
Yeah. We'll get to the pick-em later. But, yeah, good win by the Packers, 30-17. Finally, just a nice... I mean, the Niners game was pretty nice and easy, but this one felt more complete. It didn't feel like you were playing a total, just injury-riddled team. But the Dolphins were no match, and, I mean, their season's kind of over now. I don't really know. I mean, they probably keep McDaniel, but... It's just kind of like, this has happened multiple times, and in the AFC, you're going to have to go play in the cold and win in the cold if you want any chance at a ring. So, Packers win 30-17 in Lambeau on Thanksgiving to end Thanksgiving. It was a great game. Moving on. Also on Thanksgiving, the early window, the Bears lose the Lions 23-20. And my title for this one is Bears put Eberflus in timeout. Because, of course, the Bears fired Matt Eberflus, Coach Matt Eberflus, after the game. If you guys haven't seen the final sequence.
Pretty remarkable ending. Even... in that situation, really wanting the Bears to come through and beat or help the Packers out by beating the Lions, and just to watch to go from 1 second thinking, wow, they might actually do it, to oh no, this is the Bears.
I know.
So
it would have helped a ton if they did it, but it's just like, wow.
I'm sure,
it's just disappointing.
Yeah. I'm sure everybody's seen it by now, but it's
basically
pretty bad.
The Bears. They probably had it on the Lions 30 at one point.
They threw that pass inside the 20, but they got called back on a penalty. Had it about the 40. Got it into maybe about the 30. Took a bad sack on second down. Got to third down. And, third and 18 to 20 yards. And they only needed about 5 to get in field goal range for the target line. And instead of, with 32 seconds left, call the timeout.
Yeah.
Call the timeout.
But I will say,
timeout, but
we argued about this. But I don't necessarily disagree with not calling a timeout at 30 seconds. I do agree at about the 15-second mark. A timeout should have been called if there was not a playoff by then. But I think we get that the no timeout call was bad, but I need some clarification why the ball wasn't snapped.
Well, it's because Caleb didn't... He wasn't focused on that. He's a rookie quarterback. He's a rookie quarterback.
I don't understand that,
It's fast-paced.
How do you forget that the clock runs?
Well, I mean, the NFL's different. Things move faster in the NFL. It's a different game.
I get that,
and I mean that's where the coach was responsible. He should notice and recognize that, hey, my quarterback isn't looking at the clock. Maybe I should call a timeout. That's all I had to do.
So
that's all I had to do.
I don't know. I mean, if we're using that logic, I don't understand how that can be blamed on Eberflus.
He's watching them. What do you mean? He's watching the game. He's seeing they're not hurrying up. He's audibling. He's seeing the clock run down. Call a timeout.
But why was the ball not snapped? You cannot blame that on being a rookie. You've played football all your life.
I don't understand your argument here.
I'm saying, okay, what I'm saying is if I'm the coach of the Chicago Bears, I don't disagree. I would have called a timeout at 30 seconds, but I don't disagree with not calling a timeout at 30 seconds. I don't disagree with it.
You don't call the timeout at 30 seconds if your guys hurry up. They weren't hurrying up. So they weren't getting to the line.
But that just
You don't call a timeout
me.
if they hustle to the line and they snap the ball. You don't call a timeout. They were on the play.
That is, but that is like, so this is
that's
multiple layers of ineptitude.
That is the point, though. He stood there and watched them burn 30 seconds of clock.
I'm not saying he's out of fault.
Yeah, he's 100% at fault.
Not 100%.
Yeah,
no.
No. I mean, Caleb Williams.
There's two sides of this party.
Okay, 2% Caleb,
2%?
98%. Yeah, Eberflus. I don't care. You are responsible for that. You have to do that. How many times did we watch Aaron Rodgers get the play clock down, and it made Matt LaFleur so nervous he called timeout, and you probably would have got the playoff. But he's just like, oh, but he's watching. He's going, okay. I know what the clock management, like clock time, whatever. I can see what's going on. I know when I need to call it. And Eberflus is just like...
That's one side of it.
Well,
I'm just saying, is it not a little concerning that your quarterback had no idea what the clock was?
No, because he's a rookie.
You can't. I'm sorry. He
how it
is up to Thanksgiving in his rookie year.
He's playing at a time when he's usually not in college playing.
I am sorry.
He's
this
entering
is the
into that
professionals.
Okay, but that's always been the case, though. That's been forever with rookies. They make mistakes. They're rookies.
This isn't a mistake.
You're not. I know you're getting paid. Yes, it is a mistake.
But also, it's not just him. It's the entire offense. They look like they have no idea what they're doing.
And that's coaching. That's why they fired him.
I'm just saying it's not all on Eberflus. I'm in no way defending him. There is something completely wrong with that organization.
It's coaching. It's ownership and coaching. That's what's wrong with the organization. Most of those players could go anywhere else on a well-run team and they'll play well.
So can you not also put something on the OC Thomas Brown for not getting the play call in time?
Well, again, his responsibility is he got the play call in, or he's getting it in. So it just wasn't
called.
I don't know. Clearly, Caleb audibled, and that's when they should recognize he's audibling to call timeout because it's going to take too much time.
Yeah, it's just
call the timeout.
I agree. Eberflus should be fired. He was fired.
Yeah.
But I think the play as a whole, it's like you can point to multiple different people. It's like, what are we doing? Like, this is complete football ineptitude. It just kind of sums up their organization.
And the coach takes the fall.
But did you watch their press conference? I think their president's name is Kevin Warren, and Ryan Poles did a press conference. And this may be biased from a Packers fan, but I am not. I am almost 100% sure they are going to fail at this coaching hire. I am confident.
They fail on all coaching hires, so what makes you think they're going to get it right?
Because go watch that press conference. I never said it was going to be right. I said they're going to fail.
I know, but what would make you think that they wouldn't?
I don't know. I think most Bears fans are pretty optimistic that they're going to.
Yeah. Well, that's a Bears fan.
But go watch that press conference, and it is like, it seems like Kevin Warren, him and Poles are supposed to be both in on this thing, both equal footing under the owner. You can definitely tell that Kevin Warren wants to lead this thing. And he doesn't know a lick about football. He was brought in as president to build a new stadium. So if he's leading the coaching search, they are in massive trouble.
Yeah.
And I mean, I know that some of the names are Ben Johnson, Vrabel, Kingsbury, but I don't know what they're gonna do. But back to this game. The Lions were up by 16-0 at half. I mean, it wasn't close. I thought it was going to be a blowout. But the Bears kind of stormed back in the second half. Their offense looked pretty good. and got really, really close to winning it, as you can see, but they just weren't able to pull through, and that's like 6 in a row now that they've lost.
Yeah, season's over.
And they've lost.
Spoiler, I guess.
They've lost in like the most like just depressing fashion too for fans. It's
only
like
Bears fans.
Yeah, it's like each week they just unlock a new way to disappoint their fans.
Yeah,
but it's just like, man, I'm not gonna say I feel bad for them, but I kind of feel bad. I'm not. No, I don't. I don't feel bad for them, but I do feel for them because I know there's a lot of passionate Bears fans, and it just feels like their organization fails them time and time again.
Yeah.
But I mean, I feel like Caleb's gonna be good, but I don't think most people understand the importance of this next hire. They have to nail it. They have to nail it. Like they have to get a guy who's your coach for the next 10 years or more.
When was the last 10-year Bears coach?
I could not tell you.
How long was Ditka there?
I don't know. But this is one of the most important days in Bears history, or most important off seasons in Bears history. And I think Poles has done some good things for them, but you have got to nail this hire now, or it's probably your job on the line if you don't. I think if they don't nail this hire, Poles is gone, the new coach is gone in 2 or 3 years, and it's gonna be interesting to watch from a Packers fan perspective, because you just want them to fail. But are you checking the Ditka?
Yeah, I'm just trying to see how many years. Let's go from the 80s. So Ditka was 10 years.
10 years, which is kind of crazy.
82 to 92.
He's probably one of the more successful coaches, probably the most successful coach in
Dave
Bears history.
Wannstedt, 5 years. Dick Duran, 4 years. Lovie Smith, 8 years. So, so really, since Lovie Smith in 2012, they've had 5 coaches counting Thomas Brown since 2012. Okay. So you've got Mark Trestman, basically 2 years. John Fox, 2 years. Well, actually, Trestman was 1. Mark Trestman was 1 year. John Fox, 2 years. Matt Nagy, 3 years. And now Eberflus, 2 years. So
it's just, I think most people thought, okay, you got Caleb, just get the guy now. Get the guy now.
Well, they blew their picks on fancy toys, right?
Drafted a punter in the 4th round.
Which
they shouldn't have drafted. Odunze's a good player,
but you get the shiny objects and you can't protect your quarterback.
So they're gonna have to do that too.
So they got to do a lot of things.
But they got a lot of picks.
Coach is number 1.
They got a lot of picks. Yeah. So I think they can be pretty good next year.
This feels like way too much time talking about the Bears.
Hey, they're really fun to talk about their failure. It's pretty fun.
And the Lions.
Yeah.
Let's not talk about them anymore.
Yeah, the Lions. I don't know. This game was just should they have lost? Probably, but they didn't. They're 11-1. They're the best team in the NFC. So
Philadelphia might have something to say about that.
Best team in the NFL, probably. I feel like you can't. We'll get to
Philadelphia
the top 10.
Might have something to say about that.
We'll get to the top 10. But yeah, Lions win 23-20 on Thanksgiving. Moving on. The Black Magic strikes again. Chiefs beat the Raiders 19-17. This is probably the most mad I've ever been at the ending to a non-Packers game. It was...
For those of you that didn't see the game...
Go ahead.
Raiders trailed most of the game, stormed back in the second half. Really, what felt like throughout most of the game, they were really just shooting themselves in the foot, moving the ball. Had the ball at the end... driving down, just need to kick a field goal to win it. And I'm still not sure. I don't think I've seen a clear play of this, but there was a fumbled snap on a illegal shift where basically the entire team moved at the same time before coming set. And really, I think in the rule book, it feels like in the rule book that's supposed to just be a dead ball foul, but they counted the fumble, which was recovered by Kansas City, and the rest is history. They win again. Just questionable. I don't know. It just.
I watched the film on it, and it's hard to pinpoint where everybody is moving, but I also don't think it's a false start because if the center snaps it,
it was probably correct call. It just is one of those things that always seems to happen in favor of Kansas City.
I've never seen that happen before. I have never in my life.
It just felt like they blew the play dead, but then let it go live.
Well, okay, but that's weird. The thing. If you look at the replay, the ref from the far side of where the camera is throws the flag, blows his whistle, and signals false start. So I'm not saying I don't know what he saw, but to me, if you're gonna blow the whistle, you're blowing the play dead. I don't care that they called a different penalty. And also, to collaborate on a penalty, are you not in a discussion in which the play is dead? I don't get that. I don't get how you can collaborate on different outcomes of a play in which one blows a play dead, one doesn't. And because you determined it was one that doesn't, but you already blew a play dead, that it counts. But
black magic.
And that's what I'm saying. Like they have a deal with the devil at this point because it just every week it seems they escape with wins. And I saw
you insinuating that Super Bowl victors are all making deals with the devil?
No, I'm not.
Because
it's only the Chiefs
making the Super Bowl and they're winning it.
I just think it's the Chiefs because they keep just coming up with the craziest ways to win games that you see almost never. It's just so. You watch. I tell you what, Brock Bowers deserves Offensive Rookie of the Year, and he's not going to get it because he's on the Raiders and he's a tight end. But he is the best tight end in the league. I don't even care. He's the best at this point. He is pretty well. He is bottom line the best tight end in the league. He had 10 for 140 and a touchdown. And he's done this multiple times this season. I think he leads the NFL in yards after catch, which is already crazy. And Kansas City, you got the win. You're the best team in the AFC record-wise. But you got to be just a little bit concerned that, Jaeden O'Connell drove on you all day. And it didn't feel like it, but, the Raiders were in field goal range a lot. They missed a couple of field goals. So, honestly, the Raiders probably should have won this game by a score or two. Or not two, but, either 3 points or, to a touchdown. Probably should have won it by that much.
Well, and with the Chiefs, it'll just be interesting to see if they can right the ship, kind of like they've done in the past couple seasons where they've looked weak. They look like they're not going to do anything, and then they bring it all together in the playoffs, and the rest is history. I remember feeling that last year in that first round, and then Dolphins went in there and just stunk it up, and you're like, huh, and that's just where Kansas City caught fire. So
I think it does feel a little different this year because last year they lost some of these games where it was they were playing really close and they lost them. Mm-hmm. And I don't know. It probably doesn't affect them that much because they've won so much. They know how to win, and they know that even because you win games doesn't mean it's a good win.
Yeah.
But there's probably part of them. It's well, we still won, so who cares?
Yeah.
But last year was we are losing games. We kind of gotta. We got to go on the road for all 3 games to get there, and they did. But this year, their defense definitely is worse. I don't think that's crazy to say. Like, the Raiders couldn't run the ball before this game, and now they come into this game and they run the ball pretty well. So it's kind of... And the Chiefs just don't commit to the run. They seem to just want to throw it. Like, why are you throwing the ball 50 times with Mahomes? Like, I get it. He's Mahomes, but that's not how you're going to win with your passing offense, because they're just... It's not great. It's not that good. And I heard Nick Wright saying, this is the biggest disrespect back-to-back Super Bowl champion has ever got. And it's like, well, you look at the Brady dynasty. I mean, they blew out teams, and it was like, and it's not like that. Like
later in the dynasty, they did. Early on, they were winning a lot of close games.
But I think I don't know. I just guess when you expect the number 1 seed in the AFC to at least be blowing out the Raiders, like at least be winning by 2 touchdowns.
Division opponent again.
I understand that.
That plays a role. You know, I don't know if they've played the Raiders already. If this is the second game. So, you know, Raiders come in, and they've always played Kansas City tough.
I understand
Derek Carr's gone in there and won a couple times. So
it's just like I think you just want more from this team. It's just kind of like disappointing that they're just kind of just mediocre.
Well, maybe they'll get upset.
Yeah, I mean, I would love it. Just like, please somebody dethrone them and stop the black magic. I'm so tired of it. I'm just ready for Mahomes to just walk off the field sad one time, please. And Burrow's not there to beat him this time. So it's going to come down to Josh Allen probably to step up and finally beat him.
Well, if somebody beats Mahomes in regulation in the AFC Championship, that'll be his earliest exit from any playoff run.
I know, it's insane. Like since he's been a starter, he has made it to every conference championship every year. It's just like, their success is insane.
That's why I say, I'll see it. I'll believe it when I see it. I will not pick against them. I will pick them the whole way. They're my Super Bowl pick, just because hopefully I can will it not to happen.
The only other thing here is, like, when the Brady dynasty, like, Brady was pretty good every year. Like, I don't think it's unfair to say Mahomes not played well this year. And for me, when I'm thinking, because I mean, Mahomes brought up in the GOAT conversation and this and that. For me, it's like, if he cannot figure out how to start playing at an MVP level, which I still think he's like 4th in MVP odds, which is ridiculous. Like, it's not, I don't know. I don't really care if he wins some more rings. If he can't, like, start playing like he was earlier in his career, I don't think he sniffs the GOAT conversation. Because, I mean, rings are whatever, but, I mean, before these past couple games where the Chiefs defense has kind of just been getting cooked a little bit, the Chiefs defense was the real MVP here.
Well, so he's young. He's got a lot of football left.
I understand
so
that.
It's not just going to be decided by a string of few bad games this season.
But also, Chiefs got to start drafting better. Because Chris Jones isn't getting any younger. He's not had a great year this year. Kelsey could retire at any moment.
This is a significant level of disrespect for a 2-time champion.
I don't care.
To say they haven't drafted well, they've put together a team for the last 6 years that have made the AFC Championship or whatever it is, 5-6 years.
But
I'm pretty sure they're doing something right.
I mean, they drafted, but like, you got to look at wide receiver. They have been very bad at drafting wide receiver.
They are 2-time defending champs. I think they're fine. I do recall
falling right
earlier
into the
this
black
year.
Magic.
No, but I do recall earlier this year you making the proclamation that Rashee Rice is the greatest receiver in the league.
Oh well, no, he's a good player,
and so they have him. He's hurt. He's
but you look
back.
now, and if you don't have Hopkins, I'm like, this is.
Did they draft him?
Huh?
Did they draft Rashee Rice?
Yeah.
Well, there you go. You made your point.
Look at the rest of them.
Well,
You drafted.
you're not going to draft a Rashee Rice every time.
You drafted Worthy in the first round. That guy can run
Packers
straight.
drafted MVS and Equinemius St. Brown.
Well, guess what? Those are
We-
4th and
horrible-
5th round picks.
Horrible drafts.
Those are 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th round picks.
Still picked them.
This is a first round. I'm just saying. I don't know how long this success is going to last when your offense can't really do much. This is an offensive league. You can have as good as a defense as you want.
And he threw for 306 yards. So, I mean, they moved the ball.
Did they?
Well,
They scored 19 points.
Well, but they moved the ball.
Kind of. But they can't
They
run the ball.
scored more than the
They can't run the
Raiders
ball.
did, who you said moved all over them. So
They did.
Yeah, but they didn't score any
Raiders
points.
missed 2 or 3 field goals.
Well,
Chiefs apologist over here.
this is enough talk about the Chiefs. Let's move on.
The Chiefs win 19-17, and just a heartbreaker for everyone in the NFL that's not a Chiefs fan. Eagles defeat Ravens 24-19. You can replace tucked with whatever word fits there. Ravens get tucked by their kicker, Justin Tucker. He's bad. Like, I'm not saying you cut him after this year, but I mean, he's making 70% of his kicks, and it's like it's sad.
He's doing what we've seen most kickers do. And
It's just sad though, because I mean he was the greatest.
Yeah, but he still has a chance to right himself and work it out.
But I mean, he's lost them some games this year.
Yeah, but I don't know if I put all their losses on Tucker.
I'm not gonna put them all on him. But I mean, I thought Lamar played fine in this game.
I thought Lamar played terribly.
Why?
He missed wide open throws.
I get that.
He missed a lot of throws.
He missed throws, but still, like, if you look at it, he outplayed Hurts.
Yeah, but Hurts just needs to complete
Hurts is just a game
11
manager.
passes or whatever. He just needs to hit A.J. Brown.
If you want to
3
talk
or 4
about
times,
overpaid quarterback in this league,
they just need Jalen Hurts to manage the game and hand off to Saquon and not turn the ball over.
If you paid Saquon what Hurts is making, and switched him, I probably wouldn't even bat an eye. Because I mean, Saquon is the powerhouse of this team, and those receivers. I mean, Saquon has probably like changed Jalen Hurts' career path. Because I mean, before it was kind of like, I don't know where this guy's gonna be next year.
Well, 6 weeks ago, the Eagles were a dumpster fire. Everybody was on them. Fire Sirianni, which I still don't like Sirianni. I don't think he's that great of a
eventually,
coach.
Especially this,
I think he's eventually getting fired, but it's going to catch up with him somewhere. But I just think Saquon has changed that team, and I think Kellen Moore has called a good offense, and Sirianni hasn't done anything lately to cost them anything.
No.
And so, I think the Eagles they start slow and then they just build.
Yeah.
And then they just roll you.
They figure out how to beat you.
They figure out how to beat you, and the Ravens are in trouble. I don't think they're making the Super Bowl. I don't think they go into Kansas City and win. I don't think they go into Buffalo and win. And
I think they can go
now,
into Kansas City and win.
I don't think they can. It's playoff Lamar. That to me, I would never pick. Just
I would never pick it, but I
history.
think they could
if they played their best game. But I think still if Mahomes plays his best game, he beats Lamar. I just think he does.
What is Mahomes' best game at this point?
What is it? Like, what do you mean?
Like what does his best game look like?
That he's play. We've seen it time and time again where he just makes plays.
Have we?
Yes. For the 2 Super Bowls. If Mahomes isn't playing, they don't win those.
I'm just saying. Okay, enough about the Chiefs. I'm not even going to talk about it.
No, but I'm just saying, Ravens are in trouble. I don't think they're a road team. They're not a team. Well, you know what? Actually, maybe not. Maybe the Ravens need to go on the road in the playoffs. Maybe they need that. They blow it at home all the time. Maybe they need to go play on the road. Maybe that'll be the cure.
Their defense is definitely a problem.
Well, and it's not getting better, so
no, yeah,
it is what it is at this
But they
point.
had a good defense last year, and
They let people leave.
Yeah,
That's what happens.
but I mean they had no choice really.
Yeah, next
can't-
man up, and they just don't have a good.
They don't have good linebackers.
good enough
They
players.
definitely miss Queen, and they missed their defensive coordinator, who's now with the Seahawks as a head
Yeah,
coach.
it's tough. Ravens just need to figure out how to make adjustments, and they can outscore most teams. But Lamar just sometimes tries to do too much, and the pundits are always on Jordan Love for doing too much. But they love when Lamar does.
What I will say about Lamar is he only has 3 picks on this year, and none of them are his fault. All 3 of them are tipped passes.
Well, and I don't think that's what's hurting him is that he runs 20 yards backwards and sometimes gets sacked.
Yeah.
He just gives up. He didn't make a couple kicks too easy for Tucker, but usually it hasn't mattered where Tucker kicks it.
I
he
think
makes
bottom
it, right?
line, you just have to make those in the NFL, especially when you're Justin Tucker. But, I mean...
Well, I would say Justin Tucker has earned the right to have a bad season and for everybody to be like, hey, here's a second and third chance.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's earned that. So
But
you can't cut him. Who you going to get?
yeah.
I
agree.
Nobody's a gimme. There's been kicking problems all across the league. So it's not just him. So
It just feels like the Eagles definitely are Detroit's biggest challenger.
I think the Eagles beat Detroit
Because it's just like...
if they played tomorrow.
You think so?
I think the way they're playing. I think especially on Thanksgiving, you saw Detroit. Against the Bears, they struggled. They scored some points, but they also had some drives that didn't go anywhere. They couldn't put the Bears away.
Yeah.
And I think the Lions absolutely can make the Super Bowl. They absolutely can. Probably will. But I could see the Eagles. Eagles are definitely going to be their biggest hurdle.
I
But
agree.
also, I mean, I wouldn't discount Green Bay or Minnesota being playing a team a third time. That'd be tough in the playoffs.
I just think like with Minnesota, I'm not because Minnesota beat Green Bay, so I can't really say much. But it's like I think, especially in the playoffs, it comes down to who's the better quarterback in most matchups, and I just don't know. I don't know like if Vikings fans would say, "Yeah, I trust Sam Darnold."
Yeah,
but I don't know. But I mean, this game. I mean, it was kind of close for a little bit. It was like 14-12. I mean, Ravens were up 9-0.
Yeah. I was largely disappointed. It wasn't really that close. It wasn't that good of a game, I felt like.
No,
it was too one-sided. Ravens couldn't do anything. So
I mean, yeah, but I mean, big win for the Eagles, and they look like they could beat anybody right now. So Eagles win 24-19, get the win, move to 10-2. They're going to win their division at this point. But yeah, moving on. Okay, the Bracken batch. We'll alternate picks. Do you want to go first for number 1?
Number 1's Detroit.
Detroit, okay. For number 2, I'm going to go Buffalo.
3 is Philadelphia.
Okay. 4, I just got to go the Chiefs. Got to go the Chiefs.
5th, I'd probably would have to say is the Vikings.
Vikings, okay. I would say
Just because of record, and they beat Green Bay.
for 6th, I'll go the Steelers. I'll go the Steelers at 6.
7, I'd go Packers.
Okay. 8th. I'll go Ravens. I don't want to drop them too far. I feel like if you drop them too far, it's not great.
What are we on?
9th.
Oh, gosh. Everybody else? Like this.
Broncos?
Broncos? Yeah, maybe Broncos. Sure, I'll go Broncos.
And to round it out, number 10.
Dallas Cowboys. They're ascending.
I'd say number 10 is a tie between the Chargers and the Commanders. I think you could flip those 10 and 11. So that's it for this week's Bracken batch. We'll see if the Packers can vault up this list with a win in Detroit. And that brings us to the podcast pick'em. So hit me with the first one.
Well, first of all, last week you went 12 and 4.
That's right.
You went 12 and 4.
12 and 4, okay.
The only ones you missed was Houston.
Okay.
Minnesota.
Okay.
And Arizona. Tennessee.
Okay.
And Cleveland.
But did
Everything
I get all
else was correct.
So, but I got the picks right, but they didn't cover, except the Tennessee one.
Well, these all covered.
No, but I'm saying the ones that I missed.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you got the pick. That's right. Yeah, because you picked Minnesota. Minnesota did win. They did not cover.
Okay.
Houston won. They did not cover. Tennessee, you picked them to cover, but I think you felt like Washington was going to win, but Tennessee would cover. And then Cleveland, I think you felt Denver would win, but Cleveland would cover.
Which, I mean, for a little bit, I thought that would be true. With that, well, by the way, we'll just touch quickly on that game. That game was one of the most fun games of the year to watch. Watching Jameis Winston is just an insane roller coaster. But anyway, I think he had 500 yards. It was like a Brett Favre game.
Yeah.
But I just think we should all appreciate Jameis Winston while he's still in the league. But yeah, week 14.
All right.
Hit me.
Okay, so. Oops, I went one ahead. I was like, wait, that's not the Thursday game. All right, starting it off Thursday, Green Bay Packers at Detroit Lions favored 5.5.
5.5?
5.5.
Packers win outright.
Okay. All right, at the 11 a.m. CBS, New York Jets at Miami Dolphins. Dolphins favored by 6.5.
I think the Jets cover because the Jets have just played close games. I think the Jets lose by 3.
Okay. All right, 11 a.m. spot, Atlanta Falcons at Minnesota Vikings. Kirk Cousins goes back to Minnesota, who is favored 5.5 over the Falcons.
Okay, Minnesota's favored by 5.5.
Yep.
Falcons are playing really bad, but Vikings aren't playing great. I don't know. I think the Falcons will cover.
Okay. All right. Then also at 11 o'clock, the New Orleans Saints travel to New York to face the Giants.
Saints outright.
Giants are 5.5-point underdogs.
All I had to hear was they were playing the Giants.
Right. New Orleans. Okay. 11 a.m. Also, Carolina Panthers travel to Philly to play the Eagles. Eagles favored by 12.5.
Panthers cover. 12.5 is a lot.
That's a lot. Yep. All right. You've got next at 11 o'clock spot, Cleveland travels to Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's favored 6.5.
I think Cleveland covers.
Okay.
They beat them last time. I think they cover.
All right. And also 11 o'clock spot, Vegas Raiders travel to Tampa Bay to face the Buccaneers, who are favored 7.5.
I think the Raiders cover.
Okay. All right, got 11 o'clock spot. Jacksonville Jaguars travel to Tennessee to play the Titans. Titans favored by 3.5.
Titans win.
All right, they cover that and they cover.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, then at the 2:05 time slot, Seattle Seahawks travel to Arizona. Division matchup. Play the Cardinals. Cardinals are favored by 3.5.
In Arizona?
In Arizona.
I think Cardinals win outright.
All right, 2:25 time slot. The Chicago Bears, with their new head coach, travel to the San Francisco 49ers, and Niners are favored by 3.5.
Bears win.
Bears win, okay.
Because, Niners don't have their top 2 backs. They're just super injured. I'm like, I don't know.
That could happen. All right, 2:25 time slot. You got Buffalo Bills traveling to the West Coast to face the LA Rams. Rams are home dogs, 4.5.
Bills just win outright.
Okay. Then at the Sunday night football has the Chargers at the Kansas City Chiefs. Chiefs are 4.5-point home favorites.
I'll say Chargers cover.
Okay. All right, then the Monday night matchup. What a matchup. Joe Burrow, best quarterback in the league, travels to the Dallas Cowboys on Monday Night Football. Can't flex this thing out. Cowboys are home dogs, 5.5 to Cincinnati.
Bengals win outright.
Okay. That's it for the pick'ems.
All right. We'll see how I do next week.
Oh, look at this. How many... Oh, here's the tiebreaker. Didn't do this one last week. How many total points?
In what, the Monday night game?
Yeah, for the Cincinnati-Dallas game. How many combined total points for the game?
I could see like a 34-23, so we'll say 57.
Okay. All right, that's pick'ems.
Okay, moving on. All right, I wanted to spend some time talking about the college football playoff that just got released today. So, for Boise State fans, Boise State, they predict in the playoff will be the 4 seed, but of course they have to take care of business on Friday against UNLV. It's kind of, I mean, you win and you're in, you lose and you're out, really, which would suck because it's like, man, the entire season comes down to this. But I think so. Yeah, your first round buys are Oregon, Texas, SMU, and Boise State. Those are the 4 highest conference champions. And then right now, if the if the season ended today, you would have Arizona State at Penn State, which, man, that'd be a good matchup. I feel like Arizona State is playing a lot better than probably the number where they are. I feel, and I mean, I don't know. That'd be a tough matchup for Penn State, who plays Oregon in the Big Ten title game. So we'll see where that goes. Which, let's talk about the Big Ten real quick. Ohio State loses to Michigan. I mean, that game was wild. Because, I mean, Ohio State was like 23.5-point favorites. But they just can't beat them. Michigan owns them. And this is like the year. You had to beat them this year. You couldn't beat them when they were good. Now they're not good. Like, you have to beat them. And they just could not. And now it's like, Ryan Day's gone. If he doesn't go on a deep run in the playoffs. But anyway.
Records are out the window on a rivalry game.
That's true. But, I mean, still. I mean, you are clearing away the better team. And that happens. It's just wild. But then you'd have Tennessee at Ohio State. People were kind of mad that Ohio State was above Tennessee. Because it was kind of like, really? Ohio State loses to Michigan and they're still up there? So, hey, for once, the SEC bias is not overriding the Big Ten or any other conference. Shocking. Then you have number 10 Indiana at Georgia. Indiana has played a lot of bad teams, but they've blown them out. So, but the one good team they played was Ohio State, and it sucked. Then you have Alabama still making it, which is shocking. I don't even know how Alabama should be in this thing.
They're Alabama.
True.
They're just getting in on legacy.
They would play at number 6 Notre Dame, which also is insane. Like, I feel like we're just forgetting that, like, Notre Dame lost to Northern Illinois. Because it's like, it feels like it was so early in the season that they just don't even care anymore. And it's like, I feel like that should be held against them. But should be a good, some good matchups coming this weekend because it's conference championship weekend. So I think let's see if I can find it here.
I'm just ready for the final one.
Yeah.
Just tell me what it is. Let's see these games.
Yeah, because you have
Conference
Arizona
championships.
State at Iowa State for the Big 12, Oregon, Penn State for the Big 10. I think in the SEC you got who do you got? I don't even know. I think you have Texas and Georgia for it or something like that, or Texas is in it. I think Georgia may be in it as well. But we'll see how it ends up after this weekend, and I mean, this is unprecedented stuff. So we'll see what it looks like going into the future. Since Jaeden did not give me any hot takes, let me just check again if he did. Nope, he did not. You got any hot takes?
No.
I'll give you a hot take. Joe Burrow and the Bengals make the playoffs.
I think that window or that door was slammed shut.
I don't know.
They need too many things to go right.
It's just
for
like
them, and that just doesn't work. Their defense is terrible.
We've
and they're
never
gonna
seen a season like this wasted from a quarterback so much. It's crazy. I just feel bad for him at this point. I mean, I don't really got any hot takes. That's what we have Jaeden for. So he really just
this is just a fail on Jaden's part.
Yeah, honestly,
so we'll just
ruined the segment. So I guess we'll move on.
Get his name off of there.
Yeah, honestly, we're gonna drop him. On this day in sports, December 3rd, I'll scroll through it here. In 1901, the Milwaukee Brewers officially became a franchise. Oh wait, no. Milwaukee Brewers is officially dropped from the American League and replaced by the St. Louis Browns. That's kind of interesting. Let's see here. Oh wait, hold on. Wilt Chamberlain made his varsity debut. That's kind of cool. Let's see here. More Iron Bowls. We had a lot of Iron Bowls last week. Let's see here. Man, this is kind of a boring day.
Yeah, not a whole lot. Well, a lot happened, but just a lot of stuff that just
like nothing any like crazy. Wow, that one of the most boring. In 2009, Patrick Kane signed a 5-year, $31.5 million contract extension with the Chicago Blackhawks.
Which for hockey, that's a pretty good deal.
That is good.
31.5. That's a lot of money for a hockey player.
Yeah, I mean, they signed that now, man. You're getting a steal now for a player like that. So yeah, geez, we 2 just duds of segments in a row. But maybe next week. Next week, it will be better for On This Day in Sports. But overall, thanks for watching, guys. All 18 of you guys, maybe more, if we can get some more viewers. That'd be cool. But yeah, like, subscribe, leave us some comments, tell us what you want us to talk about. And just have a good one and enjoy football this weekend. It should be good.
Take care.
See you guys.
Bye.